Madhya Chapter 20. Glory, glory to the fair lion, who is the son of Sachi. Glory to the Lord, whose feet remove all sufferings. Glory to the Lord, who is the life and master of Gadadhar. O Lord, please be merciful to me. Please allow my heart to stay always at your feet. Looking at the devotees and his heart filled with love, Lord Chaitanya danced, sang, wept, and laughed. Every day, accompanied by his devotees, Lord Chaitanya enjoyed many blissful pastimes. One day, accompanied by Nityananda, Lord Chaitanya went to Srivasa's home and enjoyed many pastimes there. At that time, Murari Gupta also came and offered dandavat obeisances to Lord Chaitanya's feet. Then he offered obeisances to Lord Nityananda's feet. Then he stood before the two effulgent lords. Very pleased at heart with Murari Gupta, Lord Chaitanya honestly said to him, "Murari, you did not act rightly. You offered obeisances in the wrong way. Must I teach you? Do you not know? Why do you jump over the rules of etiquette?" Murari replied, "Lord, what do I know? I simply follow my heart." Lord Chaitanya said, "Good, good. For now, go home. Tomorrow I will explain everything to you." Feeling both joy and fear, Murari respectfully left. He returned home and went to sleep. In a dream, he saw Lord Nityananda, the best of the Vaishnavas, dressed as a wrestler, walking ahead of many others. He saw great serpents' hoods hovering over Lord Nityananda's head. He saw a plow and a club in Lord Nityananda's hands. He saw that Lord Nityananda's form was like Balaram. Behind Lord Nityananda walked Lord Chaitanya, a peacock feather in his hair. In the dream, Lord Chaitanya smiled and said, "Murari, now you understand. I am younger. Please understand this in your heart." Glancing at Murari, the two lords smiled. In this way, the two brothers taught Murari. Then they left. Waking up, Murari wept. Breathing heavily, he called out, "Nityananda," again and again. Worried, Murari's saintly wife began chanting, "Krishna, Krishna, Krishna." Understanding Nityananda is the elder brother, Murari happily went to Lord Chaitanya's home. Lotus-eyed Lord Chaitanya was seated, and Lord Nityananda, his face filled with happiness, was at his right. First Murari bowed down before Lord Nityananda's feet. Then he bowed down before Lord Chaitanya's feet. Smiling, Lord Chaitanya said, "Murari, why did you do that?" Murari replied, "Lord, I only follow." As a dry straw moves in the wind, so all living beings are subject to your supreme power. Lord Chaitanya said, "Murari, you are dear to me. That is why I have opened my heart to you." In this way, Lord Chaitanya revealed the truth about himself to Murari Gupta. On the Lord's left was the dear devotee Gadadhar, who held betel nuts in his hands. Lord Chaitanya said, "Murari is the first of my servants." Speaking these words, the Lord took some betel nuts he had chewed and gave them to Murari. Murari respectfully took them in his hands. Chewing them, Murari became wild with bliss. Lord Chaitanya said, "Murari, wash your hands." Murari wiped his hands on his head. Lord Chaitanya said, "Now you've become a low-caste wretch. You placed my remnants on your body." Now Lord Chaitanya entered the mood of being the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Gnashing his teeth, he said, "In Varanasi lives a sannyasi named Prakashananda. Again and again this wretch cuts me into pieces. In his mind, he thinks it is good to cut me apart. He teaches Vedanta, but he does not give importance to my form. I have placed leprosy in his body, but still he does not understand. The numberless universes all reside in my body. Still this wretch says my body is only an illusion. How can I tolerate this? Murari, you are my servant. What I tell you is the truth. Anyone who does not respect my body will perish. Brahma, Shiva, and Anantashesh serve my body. Thinking it as dear as their own lives, all demigods worship my body. Simply by touching my body, one becomes the purest of the pure. Still this wretch says that my body is an illusion. How can I tolerate this? This form I now show to you is eternal. It is eternal. I am eternal. My servants are eternal. We are eternal. My pastimes are eternal. My abode is eternal. Anyone who says they are illusions cuts me into pieces. Simply by hearing my glories, one destroys the beginningless ignorance of this world. Still, the sinners teach the Lord's pastimes are illusions. By tasting the nectar of hearing my glories, Lord Shiva becomes so intoxicated that he is clothed only by the four directions. Anantashesh, who holds up all the worlds, always chants my glories. Shukadev, Narada, and all the sages become intoxicated by hearing my glories. The four Vedas describe the greatness of my glories. O Murari Gupta, anyone who does not honor my sacred glories will not understand my descent to this world. In this way, Lord Chaitanya taught Murari Gupta. He said, my form, servants, pastimes, and abodes are all eternal. In this way, Lord Chaitanya taught the truth about himself. Anyone who does not agree with these conclusions will perish. The next moment, Lord Chaitanya returned to external consciousness. Again, he was the most humble of penniless Brahmins. Calling him brother, Lord Chaitanya embraced Murari Gupta. Showing great affection for him, Lord Chaitanya kindly said, Murari, I tell you the truth. You are my pure servant. You know the truth about Nityananda. Even if he claims to be my devotee, anyone who has even a single sesame seed's worth of hatred for Lord Nityananda is not dear to me. Now please go home, Murari Gupta. You have purchased me. You know the secret of Nityananda. In this way, Lord Chaitanya made Murari Gupta the object of his mercy. Only Hanuman received mercy like Murari. Murari Gupta joyfully returned home. Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda stayed in his heart. Agitated at heart, Murari returned home. He said one thing, did another, and then happily laughed. With great joy he said, I will eat. His devoted wife brought his meal. Agitated by tasting the nectar of love for Lord Chaitanya, Murari called out, eat, eat, and scattered handfuls of food everywhere. Mixing rice and ghee, he poured the combination on the floor. Krishna, eat, 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 he said again and again. Watching Murari Gupta's actions, his devoted wife smiled. Again and again she brought him food, and again he poured it on the floor. The devoted wife knew, Murari Gupta is a great devotee of the Lord. Chanting Krishna, she reminded her husband of Lord Krishna. In this way, Murari Gupta offered food to Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna accepted it. Lord Krishna never rejected Murari's request. Murari offered food in this way, and Lord Krishna ate it. The next morning, Lord Chaitanya rose early and went to visit Murari Gupta. Murari Gupta sat, wrapped in the bliss of chanting Lord Krishna's name. At that time, Lord Chaitanya entered. Seeing him, Murari Gupta at once offered obeisances. With great respect, Murari Gupta offered the Lord a place to sit. Lord Chaitanya, the son of Jagannath Mishra, sat down. Murari Gupta said, Lord, why have you come? Lord Chaitanya replied, I have come for a medicine. Murari Gupta said, can you say what is the cause of your indigestion? What did you eat yesterday? Lord Chaitanya said, rascal, how did you know what was my disease? Calling out, eat, eat, you threw the food on the floor. You have forgotten, but your wife knows everything. When you offer, how can I not eat? Now you have to give me medicine. Your food is the cause of my indigestion. Drinking water cures indigestion. Your food caused my indigestion. Therefore your water will be the medicine to cure it. After speaking these words, Lord Chaitanya picked up Murari's cup of water, water filled with the nectar of pure devotion, and drank it. Seeing the Lord's mercy, Murari fell unconscious. Murari's family wept in great love. The Lord, his servants, and their devotional service are like this. Lord Chaitanya's mercy manifested all the features of pure devotion. Murari Gupta's servants attained Lord Chaitanya's mercy. mercy the great Bhattacharyas in Nadia never saw. Material learning, wealth, and fame do not bring anything of value. It is the mercy of the Vaishnavas that brings the very valuable result of engagement in devotional service. Why should one not become a servant or maidservant to the Vaishnavas? The Vedas declare, the servants and maidservants of the Vaishnavas are the greatest of all. Every day Lord Chaitanya gave his mercy to Murari Gupta. Please hear the wonderful story of Murari Gupta. One who hears about Murari Gupta attains the great treasure of devotional service. One day, at Srivasa's home, Lord Chaitanya, roaring, manifested his own form. In his 4 hands, he held a conch shell, chakra, club, and lotus. He called out, Garuda, Garuda. At that moment, making a great sound, Murari Gupta entered Srivasa's home. The mood of Garuda entered Murari Gupta's body. Murari Gupta said, I am he. I am the great soul, Garuda. Lord Chaitanya called out, Garuda, Garuda. Murari Gupta replied, I am he. I am your servant. Lord Chaitanya said, Son, you are my carrier? I am, Murari Gupta replied. Murari Gupta said, You have forgotten. I carried you in the Parijata tree from Swargaloka. You have forgotten. I carried you to Vanapur. I cut Kartikeya's peacock into pieces. Lord, please climb on my shoulders. Give the order. To which universe shall I carry you? Lord Chaitanya, the son of Jagannath Mishra, climbed on Murari Gupta's shoulders. There was a great sound of Jai, Jai in Srivasa's home. Carrying goddess Lakshmi's husband on his shoulders, Murari Gupta ran everywhere in the courtyard. The women made auspicious sounds. With great love, all the devotees wept. One person said, Jai, Jai. Another said, Hari. Another said, Never will I forget seeing this. Some joyfully slapped their arms and thighs. Some said, How glorious is the Lord. Some smiled and laughed. Someone raised his arms and loudly called, Glory, glory to Vishvambar, who is carried by Murari Gupta. Lord Chaitanya rocked to and fro on Murari's shoulders. Then Murari joyfully ran into the house. The impious did not see the pastimes Lord Chaitanya manifested in Navadvip. Wealth, family, and fame will not help one attain Lord Krishna. Lord Chaitanya is conquered only by devotional service. The Lord's servants and maidservants, who birth after birth had worshipped the Lord, happily gazed at all these pastimes. They who saw these pastimes kindly described them to others. Still, the impious would not believe them. In this Madhya khanda, the pastime of Lord Chaitanya's climbing on Murari Gupta's shoulders is described. Every time the Lord descends to this world, Murari Gupta is his first of his servants. These pastimes have no end. The Vedas say, sometimes they are visible, and sometimes they are hidden. Returning to external consciousness, and now very peaceful, Lord Chaitanya climbed down from Murari's shoulders. Murari Gupta's acceptance of Garuda's mood came to a stop. Ordinary people do not understand these confidential pastimes, where Lord Chaitanya climbs on Murari Gupta's shoulders. Seeing the mercy Lord Chaitanya gave to Murari Gupta, the circle of Vaishnavas praised Murari, saying, Glorious, glorious, glorious. Murari Gupta was a very glorious and fortunate devotee. His devotional service to Lord Vishnu had borne a very great fruit, for he had the power to carry Lord Chaitanya in his pastimes. There are many other sacred stories of Murari Gupta, and they will be described in due course. One day, pure-hearted Murari Gupta thought in his heart about the Lord's incarnations. He thought, I understand that, bringing his limbs and sub-limbs, the Lord descends to this world to fulfill his mission. But I do not understand Lord Krishna's pastimes. Why does he act as he does? Sometimes he creates, and sometimes he destroys. Why, after rescuing Sita and killing Ravana and Ravana's kinsmen, did the Lord abandon Sita at the end? He peacefully watched as the Yadavas, who were dear to him as his own life, lost their lives. Therefore I will give up this body now, while the Lord himself is personally present in this world. Now is the time, while the Lord himself is on this earth, for me to end this body. In his heart, renouncing the world, Murari got a very sharp knife meant for sawing conch shells. Keeping that knife in his house, he thought, with joy in my heart, tonight I will end this body. Lord Chaitanya, who is the Supersoul in the hearts of all living beings, knew the thoughts in Murari's heart. The Lord quickly went to Murari's house. Murari Gupta respectfully bowed down before the Lord's feet. Feeling very merciful to Murari Gupta, Lord Chaitanya sat down and spoke about Lord Krishna. Lord Chaitanya said, Murari Gupta, you must follow my order. Murari Gupta said, Lord, my body is your property. Lord Chaitanya said, is that the truth? Murari Gupta said, it is. Lord Chaitanya whispered in Murari's ear, give me the knife. Bring the knife you will use to leave your body. Give it to me. It is in this house. Hoy, hoy, Murari Gupta said, unhappy at heart. Murari said, someone has told you this lie? Who is it? Lord Chaitanya said, Murari, I see that you are not very intelligent. You say that someone else told me about this, and that is how I know of it? I made that knife, and I gave it to you. That is how I know. I know where you hid the knife. Lord Chaitanya, the Supersoul in the hearts of all, knows everything. He went, found the knife, and returned with it. Lord Chaitanya said, Murari Gupta, this is the way you act? What is my fault that you want to leave me and go away? If you go, then who will help me in my pastimes? Where did you get this idea? Murari, please give me this gift. Never think like this again. Lord Chaitanya embraced Murari and then placed his hand on Murari's head. Lord Chaitanya said, you will destroy me. You will destroy me if ever you want to leave me again. Murari at once fell to the ground. With tears of love, he washed the Lord's feet. Grasping the Lord's feet, saintly Murari wept. Embracing Murari, Lord Chaitanya wept. Lakshmi, Brahma, Anantashesh, and Shiva yearned to attain the mercy that Lord Chaitanya gave to Murari Gupta. The demigods are not different from Lord Chaitanya. The Vedas declare the demigods are non-different from Lord Krishna. Assuming the form of Anantashesh, Lord Chaitanya holds up the worlds. Assuming the form of Brahma, Lord Chaitanya creates the world. Assuming the form of Shiva, Lord Chaitanya destroys the world. With his own mouth, he speaks prayers glorifying himself. The demigods are not different from the Lord. They all serve Lord Chaitanya's feet. If even a bird chants Lord Chaitanya's name, that soul will go to Lord Chaitanya's abode. That is the truth. If a sannyasi does not chant Lord Chaitanya's name, that soul will, life after life, be born blind among wicked beings. He is a thief in the clothing of a sannyasi. He is a blasphemer sannyasi, a sinner. A blasphemer sannyasi is non-different from a thief. Both are great blasphemers. The Vedas call such a person an enemy of others. This enemy is described in these words of the Brihan Naradiya Purana. One kind of sinner falls himself down into hell. Another kind, a hypocrite who deceives others, makes other souls fall into hell. As thieves threaten others with weapons in a secluded place and rob them of their wealth, so with very sharp words, false preachers rob others. In Srimad Bhagavatam it is said, to earn their livelihood, Shudras will dress as sannyasis and accept alms. Persons who know only sin will sit on a high seat and teach religion. Thinking an impostor is a true sannyasi, the people hear from him blasphemy of Vaishnavas. In this way, the people perish. If one hears blasphemy of saintly persons, his piety will be destroyed. Birth after birth, he will be fallen. This the Vedas say. A thief suffers in only one birth, but a blasphemer suffers birth after birth and moment after moment. Therefore, a blasphemer sannyasi is a thief. He is countless times more sinful than an ordinary thief. From Brahma down to the unmoving plants, every living being is Lord Krishna's potency. Therefore, all the scriptures say, anyone who blasphemes another angers Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna delivers any person who is not a blasphemer and who once chants Krishna. That is the truth. If a person studies the 4 Vedas and then blasphemes others, he will fall into the hell called Kumbhipaka. There he will suffer birth after birth. A person who studies Srimad Bhagavatam and then, his intelligence wrecked, blasphemes Lord Nityananda, will be completely destroyed. The blasphemers have no faith in the eternal pastimes Lord Chaitanya manifested in Navadvip. They whose thoughts and deeds are placed at Lord Chaitanya's feet stay with Lord Chaitanya birth after birth. Never will I look at yogis who have 8 mystic perfections but no devotion to Lord Chaitanya. Such persons are impious sinners. After comforting Murari Gupta, Lord Chaitanya happily returned to his home. These are the glories of Murari Gupta. How can I truly describe all his glories? From Lord Nityananda's mouth I have heard a little of the Vaishnav's glories. May Lord Nityananda be my master birth after birth. By his mercy I am attracted to Lord Chaitanya. O Lord Chaitanya, O son of Jagannath Mishra, glory, glory to you. I pray that your Nityananda will be the great treasure of my life. In my heart, I always hold Lord Chaitanya, who is the very life of Lord Nityananda, who is the master of my life. Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda are my life and soul. I, Vrindavan Das, humbly offer this song at their lotus feet.